If you would like to read the story as well as listen to it, then please use the closed caption feature. Within the tranquil embrace of Elmwood Estates, an idyllic suburban sanctuary, a seemingly benign disagreement transfigured into an all-encompassing conflict, poised to reshape the destinies of its unsuspecting inhabitants. The genesis of this unforeseen upheaval traces back to the unassuming figure of Frank Anderson, a genial homeowner with an earnest desire for environmental stewardship. Motivated by a commitment to sustainability, Frank embarked on a journey to embrace solar energy, opting to adorn his rooftop with gleaming solar panels. Little did he fathom that this seemingly innocuous choice would act as the catalyst, setting ablaze the embers of discord within the hallowed halls of the HOA. As the first rays of sunlight danced upon the newly installed panels, unbeknownst to Frank, they also cast a shadow over the tranquil enclave, stirring a tempestuous vendetta that would unravel with ruthless determination. The serenity of Elmwood Estates would soon be eclipsed by a storm of grievances and confrontations, forever altering the fabric of daily life for its bewildered residents. Frank's solar panels, glistening like beacons of environmental responsibility in the sunlight, stood as a tangible testament to his unwavering commitment to curbing carbon emissions and ushering in a new era of sustainable living within Elmwood Estates. Yet, unbeknownst to Frank, the HOA, a formidable force-wielding influence with an insatiable appetite for control and a marked absence of empathy, perceived his green initiative as a blatant transgression of their meticulously crafted, aesthetic guidelines. In the face of this clash between ecological conscientiousness and the HOA's rigid standards, the conflict swiftly escalated, transforming the once serene neighborhood into a tumultuous arena for a relentless power struggle. The air in Elmwood Estates crackled with tension as opposing forces locked horns, casting shadows on the very ideals of communal harmony and shared environmental responsibility. The clash of values and the clash of wills gave rise to a turbulent chapter in the residents' lives, where each day brought forth new challenges and unforeseen consequences in the battle for the soul of their idyllic suburban haven. The opening salvo unleashed by the HOA took the form of a stern cease and desist letter, a missive with all the weight of authority, demanding that Frank promptly dismantle his sun-kissed solar panels. Little did Frank realize, this letter was merely the initial volley in a calculated campaign engineered to shatter his resolve and drain him of financial resources. The HOA, propelled by an unsettling mix of arrogance and unyielding determination, embarked on a relentless mission to turn Frank's existence into a ceaseless ordeal. With every opportunity that presented itself, they swooped in with the precision of vultures, determined to make his life a relentless struggle. It was as if a malevolent shadow had descended upon Elmwood Estates, casting a pall over Frank's pursuit of environmental conscientiousness. The cease and desist letter, seemingly innocuous at first, metamorphosed into a harbinger of impending turmoil, the catalyst for a protracted battle where the HOA spared no effort to tighten its grip on Frank's life, leaving no stone unturned in its relentless pursuit of dominance. The air in the once tranquil neighborhood crackled with tension, as the ceaseless machinations of the HOA unfolded, turning the idyllic setting into a battleground of wills. As the legal skirmishes unfolded like a tense drama, the HOA revealed a disturbing descent into despicability. With each passing legal maneuver, their behavior became increasingly reprehensible, exhibiting a calculated cruelty that seemed to know no bounds. The HOA, fueled by an insatiable appetite for control, took perverse pleasure in subjecting Frank to baseless accusations, weaving a web of deceit that threatened to suffocate the truth. Their actions transcended the realm of legality, venturing into the murky waters of manipulation as they sought to craft a distorted narrative within Elmwood Estates. It was as if they had become architects of falsehoods, manipulating the very fabric of reality to suit their malevolent agenda. Moreover, the HOA, devoid of any semblance of empathy or humanity, stooped to new lows by attempting to tarnish Frank's hard-earned reputation within the close-knit community. This wasn't just a legal battle, it was a moral quagmire, where the HOA, driven by a vengeful desire to assert and maintain their perceived authority, seemed willing to sacrifice any ethical principles for the sake of control. The once harmonious Elmwood Estates now echoed with the dissonant chords of injustice and deceit, as the residents grappled with the unsettling revelation of the HOA's true nature. In a sinister turn of events, the HOA resorted to one of their most egregious tactics, the relentless pursuit of exorbitant legal fees. Frank, already navigating the challenging terrain of a limited budget, found himself teetering on the precipice of financial ruin. The HOA, fully cognizant of his fiscal vulnerability, reveled in his predicament, strategically aiming to force him into submission beneath the crushing weight of escalating legal expenses. With ruthless precision, they not only sought to bleed him dry financially but also deployed insidious tactics to exacerbate his ordeal. Adding insult to injury, the HOA callously placed liens on Frank's property, encumbering his most cherished possession and further tightening the noose around his financial stability. However, their malevolent machinations did not stop there. In a shocking and egregious act, they orchestrated a false arrest, accusing Frank of the unthinkable, the theft of his own car. This audacious move sent shockwaves through Elmwood Estates, as the entire neighborhood recoiled in disbelief at the depths to which the HOA was willing to sink in their quest for dominance. The once tranquil streets now echoed with the dissonance of injustice, as the residents grappled with the sheer audacity of the HOA's actions, questioning the very foundations of trust and community that had once defined Elmwood Estates. The once blissfully unaware community of Elmwood Estates found itself awakening to the nefarious machinations of the HOA, slowly uncovering the extent of their malevolence. The tendrils of injustice were no longer clandestine, weaving their way through the neighborhood's fabric as the residents began to witness the unmasking of a darker truth. The idyllic enclave was no longer shielded from the harsh reality unfolding within its very borders. As murmurs of the HOA's calculated cruelty spread like wildfire, neighbors, once complacent, now found themselves questioning the very institution that was meant to safeguard and nurture their community. Empathy for Frank, the unwitting protagonist in this harrowing saga, grew exponentially as residents could no longer turn a blind eye to the oppression unfolding in their midst. A groundswell of collective support began to coalesce, a grassroots movement fueled by the shared understanding that the Homeowners Association had become an oppressive force. The once unquestioned authority of the HOA now faced scrutiny, and the community, once united in its trust, now stood at a crossroads, grappling with the unsettling revelation that their haven was not as harmonious as it once seemed. The air in Elmwood Estates crackled with tension, as the battle lines were drawn between those advocating for justice and empathy and the oppressive force that was the Homeowners Association. The unfolding saga within Elmwood Estates found a powerful voice in the pages of local newspapers and across the vast landscape of social media. These platforms, once mere conduits of mundane information, now became veritable arenas for exposing the insidious misdeeds of the HOA. Gripping tales of their control-freak tendencies, their marked lack of compassion, and their dogged, unrelenting pursuit of revenge against Frank resonated through every corner of the community. It was no longer possible for residents to remain oblivious to the dark underbelly of the institution meant to safeguard their shared sanctuary. The once trusted guardians of neighborhood harmony were now exposed, their actions laid bare for all to witness. The communal outcry against the tyranny occurring in their midst reverberated through the streets of Elmwood Estates, as neighbors shared stories, swapped experiences, and collectively grappled with the unsettling reality of the oppressive force that had taken root within their very neighborhood. The pervasive influence of the HOA, once seemingly untouchable, faced a reckoning as the community rallied against their perceived tyranny, determined to reclaim the peace and unity that had defined Elmwood Estates. The winds of change whispered through the tightly knit enclave, as the residents, armed with newfound awareness, stood united against the forces that sought to undermine the very essence of their shared haven. The tipping point came when Frank, with the support of a pro bono legal team and sympathetic neighbors, took the HOA to court. The courtroom became the stage for the final showdown between environmental responsibility and the HOA's iron-fisted rule. The legal battle was intense, with Frank's lawyers meticulously laying bare the HOA's abuses of power and complete disregard for basic decency. As the court proceedings unfolded, the judge and jury were exposed to a litany of evidence showcasing the HOA's arrogance and vindictiveness. The community rallied behind Frank, with residents filling the courtroom to capacity, eager to witness the downfall of those who had abused their authority for far too long. In a stunning turn of events, the court ruled in Frank's favor, delivering a blow to the HOA's unchecked power. The judge lambasted the association for their egregious behavior and ordered them to pay restitution to Frank for the financial and emotional toll they had exacted upon him. The victory in court was a momentous occasion for Elmwood Estates, marking the end of the HOA's reign of terror. The neighborhood erupted in cheers, and Frank, though physically and financially battered, stood as a symbol of resilience against oppression. The HOA, humiliated and defeated, had to face the consequences of their actions. The aftermath saw a complete restructuring of the Elmwood Estates Homeowners Association, with new leadership dedicated to fairness, transparency, and community well-being. The neighborhood had learned a valuable lesson about the importance of empathy, justice, and the need to stand united against those who abuse their power. As Elmwood Estates began to heal from the scars inflicted by the HOA, Frank's solar panels continued to shine brightly atop his roof. They now served as a beacon of hope and resilience, a reminder that even in the face of extreme adversity, the power of a united community could triumph over the darkest forces. I would like to thank you for watching the video to the end. To encourage us to make more videos, please like, subscribe, comment, as well as share. Check out this other video if you haven't already.